Washington. There's shootings all over the place.
I don't think it matters the racism. I don't think it really matter that much. Just the fact that cops are shooting anybody who's unarmed.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But if they're doing it disproportionately to the race, that makes it even worse. You know what I mean?
Right.
But either way, it's terrible, no matter who they're shooting.
You know, and back to Joe, the statistics that I found were, let's see,
we saw that number the other day, right? It was like 900 people a year or something, or someone discovered like last year was 900 people that got shot by that.
Yeah, it's like lawofficers.com technology and officer website where they said that 54% of the people that were shot were white.
Okay, but that's terrible. I mean,
but to your point, it's the fact that
if you just go black and white there, if it's 54 white, 45 black, when black people make up 11% of the population, that means you're doing it like, they're getting killed 4 times as much.
The thing is, the statistics don't take into consideration the community. They take in just the number of individuals that were shot, black, white, or Hispanic, and it was 54% white, 29% or 28% African American, and 19% Hispanic.
That 28% African American, that's a starter number because it's so much higher than the African American percentage of the population. You know what I mean? If you're making up 11% of the population, but you're making up 28% of the
if that were the case,
by police, that's
what they're taking in is just the number of people that were shot, not by community. If there were 1,000 people shot, they're only looking at those 1,000 people and the percentage that were white, instead of taking it by the community, because you're absolutely correct. If 28% were blacks were shot and only make up 11% of the community, then if we were talking about the community, that is starting to push that track.
Which I'm curious to know, right? When you look at statistics, I think you have to be mindful of why you're looking at those statistics, right?
I agree.
And when someone gets shot and that community is outraged, instead of pulling numbers from the broader sense, key in on there. That way we have a better understanding of what that community is going through instead of the things we already know that the nation is facing. But with that being said, even though there are certain movements focusing on unarmed black men getting shot, why isn't there a specific group keying in on the national level? Right? Because just like you said,
I think that's what the Black Lives Matter movement is. That's how it started.
Well, it was. I don't know. Was it really?
Yeah, I think it was in lots of different areas, right? Or
that.
The was Cincinnati, one was in New York.
No.
Was in San Francisco.
What I mean is
spread out.
Instead of focusing on one key race, like Devon said, just unarmed men or women being shot as a whole, right? When we look at the statistics and seeing the differences between white men, unarmed men getting shot, and black unarmed men getting shot, just individuals being shot by police as a whole, how come that's not brought to the table, right?
And I think that's a key question because, and it'll go back to a question that I asked earlier, if you're on Nextdoor and you are in the Pittsburgh area, questions that I put up on our site, which was racism, cause or effect, because I believe it's nothing but something to divide us, and I think we get so caught up in that instead of dealing with all of the shootings, we only want to deal with black ones. And in my opinion, like I said earlier in a couple of episodes before, if this election has shown me nothing, it's shown me the fact that the media is nothing but entertainment and sensationalism. The more you can sensationalize it, the more you get people to view your news, and the more you can charge advertisers because of that. And so if all we're getting is our news from the national media, I think it's more divisive and sensationalism than anything else.
I disagree. I don't think you bring up videos. Media is just passing the videos around. If anything, you're blaming on the mobile devices.
Well,
People being able to record it, but it's not like the media is sensationalizing it. I don't think that's the case. It's a sensational thing when you have a video of a police officer shooting someone who doesn't have. That's not a threat.
But that's not what I'm making reference to, because I totally agree with that. I think my thing is just focusing on Black lives, as we were talking about before.
But I
When
don't
it comes
think
to
the
shooting,
media focuses on Black lives. I think the videos
Okay, here we
reflect
go.
that it's.
Well, I guess my question for you, based on what I was hearing, is are you referring to why the movement of Black Lives Matter is focusing only on Black lives?
Well, why
and
is
not
it
the
that
greater
we
world?
only hear about Black
Well,
lives?
like if Oscar Grant was white, do you think like people in the Bay Area wouldn't have been outraged?
No, I don't.
I don't think that's true.
If-
I
and-
think
and
Based upon these statistics,
Yeah.
if 54% of the people that were shot in America by police officers were white, and we don't hear about those, yeah, something to me is wrong.
I think you hear about it. And if there's a video,
Okay,
of
when was the
someone-
last time you saw a video of a white person killing another white person? A cop killing a white person?
That's what I'm saying. If there was a video of an unarmed white dude getting shot by the cops, I'm sure you'd-
So
I'm
with
sure you'd
cell
see it
phones
on
today-
just like-
And I guess I get it from your point. You can't really blame the media because unless you know the statistics of how many people are willing to share that information, right?
So only when blacks get shot are they willing to share a video. But when whites get shot or Hispanics get shot, they're not willing to share a video. And as to your point earlier, you said we can't blame the media. We could blame the individuals who have cell phones and those type of devices. And as we know, that market is saturated. So if the market is saturated, everybody has. Wait a minute. I have what? I got 4 phones, a tablet. You got 2 phones. How many phones you got? And you got 1 phone. So we all have at least 1 phone. So, and anytime you see injustice, people will pull out a phone quicker than I saw one where a young black lady was in Victoria's Secrets, and she was wrongly accused of what happened, but she pulled out her phone and did Facebook Live. So are you telling me, based upon what you said earlier, that it's not the media's fault, it's the people who have the cell phone and it's their fault? So all of the people who have cell phones just decide not to record white people shooting white people, and all I record is white people shooting black people, and therefore that's all the media put on.
So what happened at Victoria's Secret?
So it's one thing for you to post a video for yourself, right? Because we have different outlets in which we can post it ourselves. But who's more? I think when it comes to the media, it's about who wants more attention, right? Like if I'm already in the outrage of what I'm witnessing, and I witnessed a shooting, and I recorded it, and it would benefit what I'm outraged about to turn it into the national media. That's what I'm saying. Do we really, to make up that judgment, do we really know the statistics of a certain ABC News received, 100 video clips from 100 different people this week, and they were only willing to show. I just don't feel like.
The media doesn't really control that stuff.
But I don't think the media would be that biased to say, hey, we've received 100 videos.
You don't think
we're
media
only
would be
gonna
that biased? When we can look and see what happened with Hillary Clinton.
The videos going viral or
Yeah.
being spread out throughout the community. It's not really up to the media anymore. I guess what I'm saying. It's like.
Well, I think whether it's CNN or Fox or those kind, yeah, it is. I mean, and
But
you know
they're
what?
just reacting to what's online too. A lot of times, like if some video gets a lot of hits on YouTube, then you're gonna start seeing it on the news.
So it's not if it's right or wrong. It's again, if it gets to your point, more hits on YouTube, which means what? Means more people are watching it, which means you put that on your newscast. Means you have more people watching your newscast, which means you can charge more money for advertisers. So it's really just sensationalizing something that people have already seen.
Well, I guess it depends on what we're actually talking about. Do I feel that national media takes advantage of what comes their way? I'm pretty sure they do. If it's going to put money in someone's pockets, is it going to provide more ratings on TV? I'm pretty sure the producer or the person in charge is going to go in that direction. But to Joe's point, I think whatever goes viral on the internet is what people are going to gravitate towards. So my thing is the white community really outraged like the black community about police officers shooting specific races? I think right now that seems to be a focus, right? When another black man gets shot who's unarmed, it
I
becomes...
don't think people care that much about the race thing. I think it just happens to be
That they just happen to be black.
Well, we're just seeing more videos of them killing black people, right? But no, but like as a white person, I don't specifically care that much about that. You know, it wouldn't matter if they were white or Mexican or Asian, whatever.
But it depends on where you're at. It depends on where you're at.
Like if I see a video of a cop shooting somebody that's unarmed, it doesn't matter to me what race they are.
Yeah, but
I'm
where are
gonna be
you
upset
at?
no matter what.
Where are you at? Do you see it happen often? I don't.
It seems like it happens like a couple times a week.
I don't live on a street where gun violence happens all the time, and I definitely don't live in. I don't live in a neighborhood where predominantly black individuals are shot. Right? Yeah, someone got shot right around the corner, but they got shot because they were doing a knucklehead while they were under the influence. That's a whole lot different than being unarmed no matter what race.
You gloss over that like somehow that guy deserved. Did the guy have a weapon?
But once again,
Let me ask you this: did the guy have a weapon?
Well, you know what? Let me bring it back this way.
Hold on. This is a really important question.
Go ahead.
Did that guy have a weapon?
from what I heard, I don't think
He did, right?
Right.
So how can you say that that's a justification? The guy didn't have a weapon.
My argument is it depends on what.
Like you said, he was being a knucklehead.
No. But what I'm saying is, when we have these arguments, it depends on what the topic at hand is about. Okay? When you have people of the Black Lives Matter movement going on, that's something that's going on over there versus what's going on here. If we want to have a conversation about gun violence in Concord, right, I would say, hey, there is no neighborhood that are predominantly African American in Concord. It's all spread out. So if I want to be upset about gun violence because I've heard over the course of the week that there's been 10 gunshots no matter what race it is, then I think the city of Concord would be more inclined to be upset as a whole no matter what race.
Yeah,
There's a problem with gun
really a
violence.
racial issue.
Here, you know what? Here,
Yeah,
and
it
let's
seems
take
like
this
it.
back. No, I agree with you on this, Joe. And this is where I was going earlier, and what I was saying that I'm probably going to change the way that the conversation is happening, is because I'm with you. To me, gun violence is not a racial issue. Let me ask you this question: if I had a hammer and I went and started killing a bunch of different people, so now you have people who are getting killed by hammers are twice as much as people being killed by guns. Are we going to put some kind of restriction on hammers? But do you see my point? My point being is, it's not the gun, because the gun is nothing but a tool.
Hammers and guns have two different purposes.
No. See, but my point being is, a gun is a tool, just like a hammer is a tool for whatever thing that it may be. So, do we blame the hammer if someone gets killed by a hammer? No, you blame the person.
I don't know
So
if you
once
should
again,
compare. I wouldn't compare it to a hammer. I would compare it more to like a nail gun. That might be a better.
Okay, even a nail gun.
You know.
The point, and this is where I went to do some looking up, and
Like
the
you can
problem-
kill a bunch of people really fast with a nail gun.
but it has a different purpose.
What do you
A
mean?
nail gun's purpose is to nail down some things for construction. So, but it's a tool. So people can use tools in the wrong way. So it's not the gun or even the nail gun that's the problem. It's the morality of the people. And I think that's what we have to deal with more than just the fact that it's the gun
Maybe
itself.
there's more than one cause or more than one.
So back to what I was
issue.
saying, Devon, right? It sounds to me that the topic that you're speaking into is gun violence as a whole.
I think for me, it is more of that, because we can talk about different races, but that's to me nothing but a symptom.
So when you
not the
talk, but
cause.
what I'm saying is when it comes to the race part, right? I'm not against anything that you guys are saying, because from my experience In the area in which I live with, I would focus on gun violence as a whole. Because what I'm saying is, when it comes to specific communities, there are communities that are a lot less diverse than what I'm accustomed to. And when you have a community that focus seems to be on a specific, when it comes to a specific race, then I think that's where that race card comes into play. All I'm saying is you got to acknowledge a group that wants to be acknowledged for what's going on in their community. But then why is it that we do not also focus on gun violence as a whole? Because when we look at the numbers, we could be outraged at gun violence as a whole because it is a problem, right? And
It seems like it's been less of a problem outside of the mass shootings.
right.
You know, and
It
that's.
seems like it's been.
But I think we have the NRA and other people. You have Trump looking at, or Hillary was looking at gun control, and that's why I have an issue with. I think is that that's more of the symptom than the actual cause. The symptom is people trying to regulate gun control, saying, okay, you can't do this to the gun. You got to go buy it here with a gun. You got to do this with the gun. And the problem is not the gun. The gun is merely a tool.
Well, the gun is
Right.
part of the problem.
But are we talking
I
about?
tried to build a house without a hammer.
Are we
You gonna
talking
be able to build a
about?
house without a hammer?
No, but the hammer is doing its job, which is what? Building a house.
What's the
Just
gun
like
job?
a
What's the
gun.
gun's job?
A
Yeah,
gun
but the
is
bomb-
for
Guns do its
protection.
job too.
But let me
But
ask you
is
guys this: is the gun control laws about guns in normal communities? But are we talking about the gun violence surrounding gangs and drugs into bigger crimes? Because I don't see gun violence being an issue in a small community where there is no gun trafficking, there isn't those higher crimes, that are being committed. When it comes to like LA or Chicago or even towns around the border, I think guns are a bigger issue because of what those guns are being used as far as other acts of violence. When it comes to maybe small towns in Upper Texas, it may not be a bigger issue because when you look at the percentages, when you're looking at just crimes involving guns, usually the death percentage is very low versus the bigger population. How many people are shot by guns based on the bigger population? The percentages are usually very low. So when they're talking about gun control, I feel like the bigger problem is not limiting, Devon owning a gun or you owning a gun, but the gun laws that may prevent someone who's willing to commit acts of terrorism. Or, I'm in a gang and I've got 50 members and we all have AKs and, we're, selling drugs, we're trafficking women, all those sort of things. I think that's where the gun laws are trying to come into play. Not necessarily Joe who wants to go get a Glock and, have it in his house and just to protect his family. I don't think that's what the gun laws are.
And I will agree because, Joe, in that instance, if you're getting one to protect your family, that's what the gun is supposed to do. The gun is supposed to be there so that if someone tries to rob you, you have the ability to protect yourself and your family. So that's what the gun is for. But when we're looking at gun control overall, nationally, and the amount of people that are being killed, to me, I think I'm almost want to say it's like the drug problem. We're focusing in on the wrong thing. It's not the gun no more than it's the hammer killing somebody, but a hammer or a nail gun is used to build a house. It's the individual or individuals that are actually using the tool. And so if we continue to concentrate on...
I think their access to the tool is a big part of the problem.
Okay, so again, we're talking about the people and their mentality to using the tool. So again, we're not talking about the tool that's the problem. It's not the tools that's the problem.
When somebody tries to kill people with a hammer, and I'm sure it happened, they just don't do the California that they do when they have an assault.
Here we go.
And it's
They're
like,
still dead.
They're two different.
I mean,
Look at that guy, the guy who did that terrorist attack in Ohio.
Right.
He ran in with the car and then he put on a knife and he stabbed a bunch of people. It's terrible, right? He stabbed like 11 people. None of them died.
that's what I'm saying. What if I kill somebody with a hammer or I shoot
But I'm
somebody with a
saying,
gun?
if
They
he
still
would have
dead.
had like an assault rifle instead of a knife, there would have been probably 50, 60 people dead, just like there was in maybe more than that. Who knows? You know what I mean?
You're not getting an argument for me.
I think you're just capable of doing a lot more damage, especially with the guns that are out there.
Okay, so again, we're going back to
I can't.
it's not necessarily the tool. Again, we keep talking about the person, and that's what I'm trying to get to understand is that the tool may not be the issue. As we continue to talk about it, well, you know, the people don't need to do this with a gun. The people, I mean, we're trying to legislate morality, and I think that's the problem. Is trying to legislate morality to me is insane. Because you're going to try to say, okay, this person can do this. And the reason I think it's insane, and I'm going to go on a tangent, is because we have no moral rock. And what I mean, and I'll take it from me, I'll share me. When I say a moral rock, I'm referring to the Bible. Other people, and you look at today's society where there's situational ethics. And what is situational ethics? Ethics based upon the situation that you're in. So there is no solid, okay, a lie is a lie is a lie no matter when you tell it. A lie is only a lie based upon the situation you're in. And stealing is only stealing based upon the situation you're in. And so if our morality is that fluid, I mean, it goes by moment. Okay, that's not a lie this moment. But if you say that same thing 5 minutes from now in another situation, it's a lie. Well, how can this a lie then and not a lie now? And so trying to regulate morality is almost impossible because we have things such as... Oh, I'm just saying for me, that's my rock. But in looking at morality...
Isn't that what religion tries to do? Trying to regulate morality?
What it does is, here is what's right and what's wrong. In the situation I just gave you, everybody wants to do what's right in their own mind. They don't want to say, okay, lying is wrong no matter when you do it. Because you can always have 3 answers to every question. Either yes, no, or shut up. I mean, if somebody asks you, oh, ain't my baby so cute? You can say, you know what, that's a beautiful nose on that baby. You ain't got to say the baby ugly, or the baby got some beautiful clothes. You got to answer the question. The baby is ugly. You just don't want to say that. So pick something that is nice about the baby. You don't have to ask a question, and as someone told me, a question is merely a request for an answer from me. And just like any request, I can deny your request.
Okay, so if focusing on the tool is the wrong way to go, and we're focusing on the individual who wants to use the tool.
And if you look at everything, I think that's the problem.
So then in your mind, what's the best way about going about it? If I don't seem capable of enough person mentally, I shouldn't own a gun, or...
Maybe we shouldn't regulate cars either. They're just tools, right? Maybe we should just let kids drive.
You know what? I think we should raise the driving. I think we should raise the driving limit, the drinking limit, until you show some kind of responsibility.
You don't think we should have gun regulation? We should,
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I think we're focused in on the wrong thing. We're talking about gun regulation.
I think the other thing, in terms of trying to affect like violent crime or murders by guns, I don't know that there's another effective way.
Okay, so
I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to attack a problem the same way and you're not getting results, then I do.
At some point in time, you gotta do something different.
I think you have to do something different. And I think when it comes to gun violence, it's such a
You're not going to stop it.
it's a special problem because there's so many pieces to it, right?
I disagree that it's a special problem. I didn't disagree because all the problem we're talking about is people.
Well, I know, but there's more that goes into it, right?
If you look
What
at
type of guns
Switzerland,
being bought?
Switzerland, they got the same guns. They have the assault rifles. They have a similar distribution of guns among the population, but they don't have any of the violent crime that we have.
Okay, so let's.
You know, and it's kind of interesting to look at those numbers. Like you can't just blame it on the guns. There's more to it.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you look at
You're
the
absolutely right
people,
about that.
look at the lifestyle that we have in the States, and let's take your, like Switzerland, where they have a lower gun shooting.
You know,
Let's take a look at their mentality.
They have a lot. They have a lot of the long rifles. They don't have a lot of the small arms.
And I think to Devon's point, right? They don't have some of that violence, and I think it comes down to the individuals who are owning the guns and the reasons why they're owning the guns.
I think it goes to say too what they're using guns for. Like if they're a tool,
It's a
But
tool.
They use it for. They're not using it maybe for protection. I think they use it more for
Robbing
hunting.
people.
No, not even that either. They're using it for hunting, and I think military service is what they're primarily.
See,
using
but
it for.
I can even accept that. You know, that's.
But they probably don't have the crime and stuff that we have, so they don't feel the need to protect.
Right, but then it
Other things
comes to the
driving-
populace, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to go, if I put it in my head that I want to go kill someone, there's so many ways for me to go about getting the tool
So many
to hurt someone, right? And
But like
when
like
I say it's a
gangs, for
special
example.
problem, I say it's special because there's so many outlets in which you can physically hurt someone and get the tools to do it. I think
It's just, and that's what guns do, right? Guns just make it easier.
And I think,
that's the only
you
difference.
have to have some gun policies in place. But to Devon's point, it really just comes back to the individual. Why do you feel like you need to go to such extreme to hurt someone? Why do you need a gun? Why do you have to play God with someone's life with the gun? I just don't know how do you make those two come together?
You know, like I said, I believe where a lot of times are dealing with the wrong issue. And,
I've kind of given up on the gun issue.
you know, and I can understand why.
I'm really kind of over it. To think what happened. There's been numerous things, but like the Sandy things, I always go back to that. When you take like a room full of first graders and they all get murdered with a gun, and that doesn't cause any kind of change to the rules or the laws or even to like evaluate it or look at it or seriously consider it, that tells me that we're never, or at least in the near future, I mean 20, 30, 40 years, like it's not going to change. Gun control, Second Amendment's not going
I think
away.
it goes back to our conversation we had last week about, I think the population number is the biggest hurdle, right? The more people you have in a certain area, the less likely that you'll be able to control. And every county, every city, every state is different. Different views on gun violence as a whole and owning a gun and how the gun can be used as a tool. I really think people have to unify.
People are really going to have to want to give up the right
And decide-
for there to be
Right.
meaningful change in our, the way we access guns in America. People are going to have to raise their hand and be like, I want to change it. And it's going to have to be like a movement because you're going to have to amend the Constitution. And there's a lot of opposition to that. There's a large group of the population out there that does not want change to that. We're okay with it. We're okay with the violence, or at least they're willing to.
Well, I think at some point it's about denial. I own a gun. It's denial. I own a gun. I own it for this reason. I do it to protect.
You know what it really boils down to? I think it's this fear of government. Right? People are really scared of the government. They're scared of the notion that, like, oh, if we didn't have guns, how could we, fend off this oppressive government?
I think
it's insane. People like the Tea Party, kind of that right wing, kind of.
Is that an underlining conversation that
I don't think
people
so.
are
I think
having?
it's just.
Yeah,
I think it's just.
Why do
For
you think
example-
people want the gun right? Why is it so important?
For
Do you think
example,
it's for protection?
I think you get a lot of people where. Let's take, for example, if you were to, or I won't even say you, but if people were to go in a neighborhood where they understood that, it's not safe in this neighborhood, that has nothing to do with the government.
But it's
that
not
has to
safe
do.
because of the guns. You know what I mean?
It's not even the guns. It's the people.
The egg,
It's the people who. It's not a chicken and egg. It's the people who have the guns that people are afraid of. So it's okay. I gotta go get a gun.
If the people that had the guns that you're afraid of didn't have the guns, would you still be afraid of them? No, I wouldn't be.
But it's a different.
That's what the handguns
Yeah.
And so it's not the gun or anything like, it's the individual. Because if they don't shoot you with a gun, they'll stab you with a knife. If they don't stab you with a knife, they'll go get a nail gun and shoot you with a nail gun. Or if they can't find a nail gun, they'll get a hammer. Listen, they'll go get a butter knife. I mean, so, again, I think it's
This won't be killing as efficiently as those other tools.
But let me ask a question though.
Wait, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, so, but, I mean, the thing is that why, if you're trying to make it better, why, just try to bring it down slowly? I think you should just, like, get straight to the point and just accept, like, that it's the people and try to do something about the people instead of taking it away and let people get killed by hammers before we need to take away hammers too.
But I mean, it sounds like it sounds easy. It sounds like that's an easy answer, but that is the answer. Instead of
It's almost too late. I mean, we talk about this regulation stuff. We should have that conversation 200 years ago. You know,
I mean, at least 50,
they're
maybe
already
60.
here. So, like, even the regulation we talked about, it's, you know, outside maybe regulating ammo or making it difficult to get ammunition, that might make a difference, I guess. But the fact is, we have 3 military guns.
You know what?
They're
And-
here. You know, like the regulations, it's kind of too late for regulation.
Yeah, and I think the rules are gonna, if they keep making rules, the rules are gonna get silly because of the fact that people are gonna keep trying to kill people. And I think if you keep going down that road,
Well, the court's always going to stop the rules from getting silly conduct because it's a constitutional right. You know?
I know, but like if you take away a lot of stuff for people to kill with, they start like then you're just gonna restrict people from the stuff that you know like.
Oh yeah, it's like a slippery slope.
Well, it's like the moment you start regulating stuff, people will want. Let's say you start regulating guns, right? And the only person that can regulate guns would be the government. So I would, to what you were saying earlier, I think if the government took a deeper stance and really tried to do regulation, I think there would be more guns in people's possession because of the government trying to regulate. I think right now, I don't think the government is even the topic of conversation when it goes to I'm getting the gun. I don't think, as of right now, maybe now that Trump's in office and everyone is kind of in fear of how that's going to play it out, maybe more people now are inclined to get a gun because they just don't know what the government's going to do.
I think it's kind of the opposite. Like a lot of people had that when Obama took office. There was that effect, right? Like during this time, kind of in between Bush and Obama, people went nuts and bought guns all over America. You know, because they thought everyone was scared that Obama was going to take their gun rights away. That's not a fear at all for Trump. I don't think. If anything, it's the opposite. I mean, seriously.
I mean, I had
Trump may give everybody 2 guns.
Well, that may be true, but I think it depends on the color of your skin because because me doing Uber, I've had so many conversations with minorities who are like, oh yeah, I think it's time to get a gun. I never wanted a gun, but I'm going to get a gun now.
People might need guns. That
Right.
might be, you know, you want to protect yourself. I'm not going to dispute that. But there's no regulation of guns coming from the government.
Well, no, but I'm saying in general, right? In order for someone to be in fear of the government has to do something for you to feel that way. So that's why I don't think
It's
the
funny
ownership
you
of
mention that,
gun
though,
has
because,
anything to do with the
a lot of
government. I
people
think
seem
it
to
has
have
to
this
do with
kind of-
where you're at.
A lot of the fears I see of the government seem kind of unfounded. It seems like conspiracy theory type.
Okay, so as we wrap this up, do we want to do final thoughts? We're gonna do something. We're gonna do something different today.
We probably won't be able to do that. We got past time.
Kangaroos today.
Hold on. You know what though? I will say
Hey,
this.
did you guys see that video that that lady pulled that dude out of the car? His road rage. I just saw it earlier today.
Oh,
It's
you know we'll have to watch that.
We don't have one. We don't have one
We
video.
just gotta-
You gotta
It's
find
by
out. She
15,
pulls
so
this guy out of the car. I guess he brake checked her. She pulls him out of the car. The video is like her just whomping on the guy in the middle of the street. Broad daylight. The guy's like down on the ground like this, just getting
You know-
the crap beat out of him by this woman, man. It's pretty funny.
Well, you know what? Interesting.
I'm almost like, dude, are we advocating violence right now?
You know,
It's
it's
funny.
it's always interesting too. And next week we'll have a different section ending the program. Right now we just ran over our allotted amount of time, and I don't want to keep anybody here. It's getting dark out here. I know y'all can't see me much. You know, I got to be seen. So I want to make sure that everybody gets their comments in, and we had a good discussion here today. And I encourage you all to have the discussion amongst yourselves, talk to your friends, neighbors, family members, and you know, we as a community can try to figure out what the problem is. But next week, we're going to show some videos. Let me tell y'all something. Life is funny, and there's some very funny videos. And I don't know if you guys have seen. We're going to play it next week. I'm trying not to give it away, but it was really funny. Just don't go hit no kangaroo. That's all I'm saying. Don't go hit nobody's kangaroo just because they got your dog in a headlock. I ain't saying nothing. You know, and if you got a dog that's getting plastic surgery, let me tell y'all something about dogs. They were born ugly. They supposed to live ugly, and they supposed to die ugly. A dog don't need no facelift, man. But anyway, I'm not going there. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching the show today. We hope you enjoyed our show. We want to make it where it's all inclusive, so as we go on, you'll be able to call in via Skype, and we'll patch you into the show itself. So continue to look forward to the innovations that we're going to have on our show and the improvements.
Send some comments.
What's that?
Show us some likes.
Yeah, we're going to show us. And go to Facebook, Periscope, and we'll upload the video. If it's not there, YouTube will definitely upload it, and let us know what you think, what we can improve on, and what gets better. See you guys next week. Bye!
Hopefully you shut off recording right this time.